business is tough. Family business is tough. Multi-generational is tough. You guys are doing it all, which is really wild. There's so many different facets of this as we prepared for this interview that we're excited to dive into. So what does it mean to be carrying on the family legacy that began back in 1945?
Yeah, 45.
I mean, we take every day one day at a time, really. I mean, we don't take anything for granted, too. Like we were talking about earlier, like we've worked here at this store in particular, like all our lives, basically. So, starting summer after 6th grade, I was washing and cleaning cars and all that. So it's kind of just become like, I don't even know if it's the home away from home or if it is the home, basically. You know what I mean?
I would agree. Yeah.
I don't know. That's probably a tougher question for some people to answer who are just kind of like thrown into it, like, later on in their lives. And like for us, it's just been just natural, just because it's what we've just grown up into, basically.
Right.
So.
Yeah. You were, 5 and I was 8 when Toyota was purchased. I mean, obviously there was United before. Yeah. So our grandfather and uncle were there. So we grew up going there and... Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of natural. But I feel like the older I get, I feel like there is a little more pressure. It's like, okay, we're the 3rd generation. Like, we can't screw this up. Like, I don't know. Maybe our kids will want to work in it. Who knows? So
there's a good saying: the 1st generation plants the seed, the 2nd generation waters the seed, and the 3rd one cuts it down.
Yeah. So
so
like,
we're not cutting it down,
right?
but that's not our plans at all. So
try to water
we've
it some
seen
more.
that.
But
locally,
growing up
right?
too, that's
But
growing up too, that's one thing that my dad would always tell us and just keep us aware of. That he's like, I don't know if it's so much of a 3rd generation curse or not, but he's like, you see all these different businesses that when it's for whatever reason it gets to 3rd generation, it's just.
Did you ever think of doing anything else?
I did. Joe, no. He
no.
Pretty much always knew since he was like, since we were, born, and he was going to United with my dad, but I did not. Yeah, I actually didn't originally live around here. I mean, like as I got older, once I graduated college, I lived in White Plains. I went to grad school. I worked in Manhattan. I worked at Revlon, the makeup company. And so I thought that was kind of my path. And then I actually met my husband, and he's from the area. So moved back. And as I was, looking just for different jobs, then I kind of was just looking at our websites. And I was like, we could definitely use some improvement. Not all the stores had a Facebook page, social media presence. And I was like, it's what I went to school for. So yeah, I had to pitch the idea to my dad and Steve. And,
oh my God, that's great.
Yep,
Hire me, please.
It was.
Which that was a long time ago too. Where like,
it was
the internet
2013.
Was still, not I guess.
There was no digital retailing, so you couldn't purchase a car online. We had websites, but it wasn't people. We kind of just relied on people knowing. Yeah. The name. The name.
Yeah.
Right. I'll go to the website because I'm looking at this car.
Back then we were, we were doing all sorts of different, I don't want to say one way or the other, but a lot of different forms of advertising that
a lot of more traditional ones.
So,
yes, a lot of more traditional.
Well, I mean, it was a totally different world back then, too.
Yeah. Exactly,
everything has changed a ton, and so it was perfect timing. It's all really fate, I think.
True.
Really,
I honestly feel that way, because I'm like, I love it now. I couldn't picture not being in it, so.
Right. So you mentioned your husband kind of brought you back.
Yeah.
Kelly and I are going through this with our...
And wait, side note, because then we fully sucked him into the business.
Yes, we did.
By the way.
My dad was like...
if you are going to be part of this family, you need to work
it's
in
funny
the
you
business.
say side note, because that is where I was going.
Okay.
How difficult is that for a spouse?
And he is an absolute natural at the business,
He is. My dad, when my
so,
dad first met him... So actually, I feel like now I have to tell the story of how we met. So I was... visiting home. We were actually at our family's camp in the Adirondacks for Labor Day weekend. I was going to come home for like that Monday night and then drive back to White Plains early Tuesday morning. And we get to my parents' house and their carbon monoxide alarm was going off, keeps going off. They called the fire department. He's a volunteer fireman for New Hartford. That's how we met. My parents were like, wow, you guys had an instant connection. I was like, well, I'm going down to White Plains, whatever. We ended up connecting. My dad says later, we go on a few dates. My dad's like, I don't care if this works out with you. I'm hiring that guy. He has great personality. He was like, he's like, I hope it does. He's great. He's like, but
everyone was just high from the carbon monoxide.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna offer him a job, and I was like, kind of stressed about that. I'm like, I don't even know. You're like, we were just dating. I'm like, that's a lot of pressure for like him and me, but it worked out great. I didn't want him to feel like pressure or anything. But yeah, he is a total natural, I would say.
Oh, for sure.
He
Yeah.
loves it.
How about your wife?
So she doesn't want to work in the business, if that's the question. And that's fine. That's
course,
great. Yeah, so there's no pressure there. She stays busy. She works for Town Square Media on the corporate side,
cool.
which is cool. So she's able to work from home, covers all different markets all across the country, basically, which is pretty cool. She's keeping me up to date on random facts of what's happening. And,
it's helpful too because she works in digital marketing too, so even just to have like an unbiased
she'll bounce
opinion.
certain things
off
like, at us
what do you
and all
think
that,
of like this, SEM tactic or whatever? So yeah.
So you went to Syracuse for business.
Yeah.
Specifically to be here then.
Like
capacity.
with the end goal, my parents were like, you're definitely going to college, and so I was like,
they
okay,
also
cool.
did a good job of not putting any pressure on us to work in the business. I would say they were very much like explore. They were, if anything, they're like, go apply to other jobs elsewhere. So maybe that's, I don't know, key to success. No one felt pressured like I have to come back.
Well, that was it. Yeah, I mean, they were fully supportive of whatever we ended up wanting to do or doing.
How many dealerships do you have right now currently?
There's 8 rooftops.
There's 8 rooftops.
7 new car stores and United, the used car store.
And so what is a core like family value that you feel like could be installed in each of those? Like why work for Steet?
Well,
I would say it kind of goes along with our slogan of just like making it easy to do business. We try to make it easy to work here. We're pretty flexible, like as much as we can be with schedules and things like that, because we understand it's late hours. It actually used to be even later, but then COVID hit, so we shortened it until 7 p.m.
Tweaking,
a little bit. But we're open on Saturdays too, so.
I mean, we're not like corporate culture where everyone's just a number and only looking at numbers and all that too. So that's like the biggest thing that people get from us.
You treat your
real
employees
people
like
that they
family.
can come sit and talk to anytime that they want, and always coming to solutions with people if they've got issues with the schedule or something like that.
Even whatever health issues. There was one tech years ago. His house was pretty damaged with the flood in Chadwick, so we had everyone rallied and did a big donation.
And then on our end too, like we take pride in like the benefits that we offer.
Yes.
Too, like healthcare, what we pitch in for that, like we have excellent healthcare.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? 401k, things like that. There's a lot of intangibles that we like to do, but then other like they may seem little, but like our which reminds me, I gotta tell Melanie how many tickets I need, but water
Company
safari,
picnic,
like every year for how many years is it? Like 20 some odd?
I think
25
it's like
years
over 25 years now. Yeah.
Yeah,
we do.
we pay for everybody's families to go up, and we rent out a pavilion at Water Safari, and so like
full day pass.
That's cool. But then we try to add different things. So we're like, okay, like so we've got a ski trip. Like everyone goes up to Gore. We pay for everyone's ticket to Gore, and just like little cool things that get everybody to bond
Team
together,
building.
but also like. But it's just like fun too for everybody to kind of like connect on a not and work basis. And
the funny thing is, I remember like it was just a couple years ago. Dawn, our office manager at the used car store, she had just met Greg, our GM here, for the first time because it is each store is its own entity. No one's really.
You might call somebody every day.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Then
you can talk to them on the phone, but like in person, we're like, oh wow, yeah. So just more, everyone can get to know each other at the stores and.
Yeah, no, that's true. And you say the little things, but the little things are the big things.
Yeah,
and when we talk about culture and family, and I'm looking at a sign here with 10 years of employees, and you've got multiple people at 30 plus years. You've got probably a dozen at 15 to 29 years, and how many 10 plus years. Like that speaks volumes.
Yeah,
more than any employee survey that you're gonna do.
Yeah,
just people are staying.
Well, we pride ourselves in low turnover and because like you said, you spend so much time with everybody here too. It's like you gain these relationships with everybody that
truly. I know, like she was the former title clerk here at this store. She actually used to be the office manager, Lynn, at our used car store, and she just recently passed away, and like I was very upset by that. Like it was very upsetting. Because we remember when we were kids, we'd come in the office to see the girls, and I'd sit on her lap and type on her typewriter because there were typewriters back then. And really, everyone does become a family.
And this is a tough business, as you know, right? I mean, we go by the slogan, work hard to play hard. Like, you guys work hard. Like, people aren't here dilly-dallying. Like, this is a prove it every month, grind it out business.
Well, we live our lives in 30-day increments.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, it's okay. Oh, great. Okay. Now it's now you're ground zero on the first
Refresh.
every month. So,
And so even the car industry has gone through such an epic like change over the last like even the time that we've been purchasing cars.
Well, we're old.
We are old. We're old, and we could see it that like you would come in and you would like look at a car, and then nickel and dime, and that's not the price, and then they would call you back and all this other. It was like it was such a chore.
Yes.
To come in and purchase a car, and I feel like that has very much changed. And I know my experience. I purchased my car from Steet Ford.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, it was before any of this even like came about. And the experience I had there was fantastic.
Nice.
So, how do you think with the industry changing as far as supply and demand, or how has that changed the way that you operate here, or with your employees or customers?
All right. So when you say like supply and demand and like how we operate, and that's like talk about like being family owned and being a local business and a part of the community and all that. There were a lot of dealers, like when COVID happened and they shut down all the factories, and then, you know, there ended up being the shortage of vehicles that seemingly not getting out of the shortage. There were a lot of dealers that were taking advantage.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And
A lot of industries.
Yeah, a lot of
Doing that.
industries. Yeah. And more ways than one, I guess, but directly or indirectly, there, you know, people that were going like over sticker on vehicles, just straight up
Ridiculous. Yeah.
dealer added profit addendums, or like just making people buy extra stuff they didn't need, like nitrogen in the tires, like, you know, that's you know, and charging $600 for or $800. That's one thing that we just right off the bat we just told all the stores, like, listen, we're not doing that. We're not like playing into any of these games or whatever, because like, you know, we still want to sell people another vehicle afterwards too. But it's also like not right to do it, like hang somebody out to dry, just like it's just something that didn't sit well with us.
Yeah. I mean, our dad always said too, I always remember hearing him say it, like, all the stores act like my mother or your mother is that customer, you know, whatever department it's in, service, parts, whatever, they're picking up their registration, like act like it's my or your mom coming in, and that's how you should treat your customers.
And like I was saying, you know, when it came to things like that, like there might not be customers that will remember like, oh, like this dealership wasn't charging over MSRP, but they'll definitely remember the dealerships that did. Like, I'm never gonna buy a car from that person again. And so it's one of those things that's like what's right is right and what's not is not. And, you know, we just, you know, follow our moral compass and try to, you know, set people up in the best positions that they can, and, you know, let the chips fall where they will on that end. But that's where, you know, we'll continue to just operate the way that we will, just trying to take care of customers as best as we can. Now, whether there's high supply, low supply, whatever, like, you know, our process won't change really.
Yeah, well, no, it's a great answer. And 15 minutes into this conversation, you talk about third generation and the pressure and don't screw it up. But you can truly tell, not so much, you know, that you guys are like, hey, we got to figure this out for the business. Like, you care about the customer. You care about the community, which we'll get into. And when you take care of your people and your people take care of the customers, and the customers keep coming back, right? Because it's not just this sale, it's lifetime sales, and then kids sales, and you know, and then it all sort of works out, right? And you guys are doing that at a high level, which, you know, seems elementary as I sit here and say it, but that's not how every business operates.
Nope. Some people get caught up in just looking at the bottom line or getting hung up on certain things, and but we just don't deviate.
Yeah,
so,
I know. I remember like our grandfather always used to say too, like, don't focus so much on even just the competition, what they're doing, what they're not doing. You know, just keep doing what you're doing.
Don't take your eye off the ball.
Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously you want to see, okay, maybe see what they're doing, but like, don't just be so focused on them, because then you're gonna miss what you should be doing in your stores.
Let's talk about the partnership, because there's a saying in business that partners are for dancing, not business. but you and the Ponte family have done this at a high level for so long. And now when you talk generational, now the waters could get a little muddy, right? With all the kids having different thoughts that the parents didn't have. So how has that been for you guys as the kids, and now working so well with the Ponte kids?
It's been easy.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's been.
We've
easy.
also, I mean, because we've known them since we were kids, so we all grew up together too. So like we would
and
take
same thing like Steve Jr. for example, he wasn't forced to be in the business also.
Right, yeah.
I think
so,
and again, like we said before, like I think a lot of it happens when like somebody's just like forced into a situation they don't necessarily
they're gonna
wanna
always
be,
resent
like,
it in the back of their mind. Like they have a bad day and it's like, I never wanted to be here, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you chose this path, then it's like, okay, I have a bad day. You're gonna have bad days. But
no, I mean like he enjoys it. We enjoy working with him. You know, we always pick up the phone, call it anybody on anything, and so it's great. We're lucky. I guess not everybody is that lucky.
I think though too, like we all kind of have our own kind of like set roles. So like you know, I'm handling marketing, digital marketing, you know, PR stuff, you know, like there are more operations. So it's just, one more numbers, one more like, you know, face of everything. So it kind of,
and then speaking of family and brothers-in-law, so
one of Steve's son-in-laws.
Yeah, we grabbed
scooped him up.
one of Steve's brother-in-laws. He runs our Nissan store, so he does a great job. Another natural in the business, and so it's been cool.
So if someone's interested in working, do they send a resume, or do they just like make friends with you guys?
You gotta have a connection with the family.
Listen, my dad meets you out and about, like, and that's we've literally hired. Like, so Chris at our Nissan store had a couple salespeople. There was one that worked at McDonald's, one that worked at Dunkin', and he hired them, and they are phenomenal.
Yeah.
But that's our business development representative here. She used to work at Starbucks. My husband and I would see her all the time, and we were like, yeah, you would make a great, like, you know, BDR here. Send us a resume, or maybe we'll see you somewhere. I don't know.
Always be recruiting.
And that's like the cool thing about the car businesses. There's like so many different levels to each one of these businesses that, like, you know, there's probably a role that somebody would excel at in this store or one of the other stores, or maybe it's a different location. But, you know, whether it's, you know, a technician in the back, or working in the body shop, or working as a BDR, business development representative, you know, working on the internet,
because that's
working in the office, or, you know, or just selling, you know, it's, there's so many different layers that's what makes it cool. It's not just one mold that you're looking for. It's like, you know, you could talk to somebody doing whatever they're doing and say, you know, I think they'd be great in the parts department, or, you know, they'd be a great service advisor. It's,
So let's talk about community. We got there for a minute, and how our community is unique. What made you want to stay here, raise your kids here? What is great about our community, and how do you give back to it?
So honestly, I mean, just having family in the area, that was another thing. Like when I met my husband and I knew things were, you know, like getting serious, I was like, yeah, like we're gonna have kids one day. I want a smaller town. I want them to be near my parents and his parents and my brother, you know. So that's what I liked about it. It's close knit. We also know the school systems. You know, we didn't know if we'd be exactly in New Hartford. Maybe it'd be, you know, Sequoia. I don't know, somewhere different. But like, you kind of get to know everyone. You get to know teachers out and about or whatever. We kind of saw, I don't know, we kind of evolved our.
But also, like, I mean, is there like a better area to raise your family?
I know.
We don't think so. That's why we came back as well.
I know.
I mean, when you really think about it, like, you know, this is like a safe area, great school systems. And like, okay, so like you want to go like to a bigger city for like to visit. You're like, okay, you go to New York City like that. Like,
exactly.
Adirondacks are right around the corner.
We're like
I mean, you're an
smack
hour
in the
away
center.
from being in Adirondacks.
Yeah, we always say that. Like, it really is. You can get anywhere in a day. And
I mean, there's some people that like get down in the area, like, oh, there's nothing to do. But like, I don't know, maybe you're just not looking. Maybe you're just not looking in the right places.
Look, and that's
because there's a lot to do, and
nuts.
it's really a great area all the way around, and it's growing out too. I mean, there's a lot of money that's coming into this area that's only going to make it that much better, really. So, but I guess
to giving back, it was just to keep boosting it, just keep making it a good place.
You guys are very generous, you know, and that sometimes can be perceived, well, it's always perceived as good, but you can also, you can't do everything, right? So I guess, how do you go about that? Because that's a struggle for me personally as a small business owner. Like, I want to support, I hate saying no, but there is a budget, right? There is a limit. So how do you go about your philanthropic efforts?
So we really, honestly, I usually get a lot of the proposals or whatever sent to me, or I'll hear about them. And then I will present it usually to Joe, Stevie, my dad, sometimes Steve Sr. It kind of depends on who's in the room at what given time. But then we just kind of go based on a vote. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we support year after year.
Right.
If it's a new
we've got our core ones that we've been doing forever.
Yes.
And so it's like
certain stores have their own different, organizations that they've supported year after year.
But it does get really
so
tough.
hard.
I mean, it does because there's so many different things and
there's we actually had to put a limit on like just even like the smaller golf tournaments. Like we'll have like a dance, a dance studio is doing.
But even
that
they end up being like soft limits because
I know, because then it's like especially if it's like an employee's kid, like how do you say no to that, or like this longtime customer, or maybe they just bought a car and it's like, well,
it's kind of it's not an easy question to answer.
I know.
We'll try to do something. It may not be as big as we want.
We try to do as much as we can, really, and.
Well, it is funny too, because without getting into the numbers of your business, contrary to what people believe, if you spend 80 grand on a vehicle, you guys aren't getting 80 grand, right? And so they're not huge margins. It's a high volume business. And so this whole, I bought a car from you, and so you need to spend this many thousands on it. It's like, it's not really an equal trade. But
True. Yep.
But it's but you guys do a great job, and
thanks.
We certainly appreciate you supporting our golf outing recently. As we
I know,
hit you up for that,
and
it was good to see some members of your team join us.
Yeah, they had a great day. I know, it was fun.
We gave $2,500 on your behalf to the Children's Miracle Network, which was awesome. So
I know, really cool.
Thank you for being a part of it.
Yeah. I guess that's another thing too in evaluating the sponsorships is like, I don't know what goes into it. Like what other things? Is it just like a T sign at a golf tournament? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it just like your sign at a one-day event? I don't know. You kind of got to evaluate like, well, where is all this going? What's it going for?
Okay, so let's talk about the future of the automotive industry, like electric cars, like all this craziness. Where do you see it
cars
going?
Are gonna be flying
I know,
well,
right?
funny.
Like the Jetsons, we thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, because I remember when I was in elementary school, we were definitely going to have flying cars.
I know, everybody thought that.
I'm a little disappointed.
Probably by 20 years ago by now. We're 20 years late.
Fully smart home, like that movie in Disney.
But no, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned about like the electric car thing. So a lot of movement on that front. If this interview or whatever podcast, whatever you want to say, was like 2 months or 2-3 months ago, be a lot more up in the air. Or I guess before Trump got into office and then signed this big beautiful bill, that remains to be seen. So I guess the federal tax credits dry up in September, so that I guess is in the bill. But the one thing that's like for sure that like a lot of people didn't know this was a thing, and so California had this plan to phase out anything other than electric vehicles by 2035. So that included hybrids and included plug-in hybrids. So anything that wasn't a fully electric vehicle by 2035, saying that in 2026, there'd have to be 35% of all new vehicle sales would have to be fully electric EVs, and then ramp up about 8% every year after that to get to 2035. And so New York was one of 12 total states that signed on board with that. And so a lot of people didn't know that was like coming right around the corner. Not that electric vehicles aren't a great solution for a lot of people. They're just not right now for 35% of all people, and not for everybody, certainly. That got voted down in the House and then the Senate, and then Trump signed off on that. So, but this could have been a totally different answer. As far as fully electric vehicles are concerned, we'll see what happens. The funny thing is this, like, they're a great solution for a lot of people. They really are. When you think about like the advancements that they've made in the electric vehicles, they've come a long ways. Like I remember I bought a vehicle off the street, like, I don't know, 4 years ago. I was just in my head just because there's very few of these. It was one of those little BMW i3s, I think, the little small, like it was like a smart car size vehicle, but it was their fully electric one. And as well as be like a cheap car to have in the lot. Like customer line came in like, hey, like I don't have a need for this anymore. So anyways, so I bought it and I didn't do like enough research into it to realize that the total range on it was only 80 miles. Fully charged, 80 miles. So now you've got vehicles, and that was 2015. That wasn't that long. That was only 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So now you've got vehicles that are getting like 400 miles on a full charge. Like that's great. Like the next iteration of them, when they can get to like solid state batteries, that like the good thing about solid state batteries, it'll increase the range on these vehicles, but also it'll reduce like temperature like fluctuations, I guess, affecting the battery, like degrading the battery health. when you can get to those, and I think it'll open it up to more and more consumers. We'll see. I mean, all these manufacturers are toying around with a lot of different things. Like Toyota was never fully dead set on fully electric, and they were really pushing into the hydrogen space.
Yep.
So fuel cell technology, and they're still developing it. There is a vehicle called the Mirai that's only available out in California.
Yep.
And I think like Connecticut, like one other state.
We saw the prototype years ago
Yeah.
at one of the new car shows.
Yeah.
We were like,
And
how do you say
it's a
this?
funky vehicle,
Yeah.
and it's wild because like the only emissions are just water that drips out of the tailpipe. Which
It
is
is
cool.
wild,
Crazy,
the science
yeah.
behind it.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah.
crazy.
But
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff
so-
people don't
So
think
we'll
of.
see. But like Toyota's mindset has been like hybrid is like the best, most easiest way to improve the environment and improve fuel efficiency for people and not alter people's lifestyles. So, and like the really most interesting stat that I saw that they came out with was for every one fully electric vehicle that they make, like Toyota makes the BZ4X, it's a fully electric vehicle. For every one of those that they make, if you took all the raw materials that they make in that one, you could make 90 hybrid vehicles.
Wow.
It's insane.
That is
yeah.
that is
So,
insane when you
Yeah.
think about
you think
that.
about like, okay, like sourcing these raw materials
Yes.
and
Right.
You can
It
get
is
deep
wild.
into the
I'm telling
conversations
you,
around
and-
cobalt
And certain
Yeah.
people are very opinionated about one or the other.
Right,
And,
yeah.
Well,
and
the good thing, and just to reiterate, like with hybrids, it's just gas and go. It's
Correct.
You know,
Yeah.
there's the electric motor that assists the gas motor, and the gas motor assists the electric motor, and so it'll run on the electric as much as it can. Then when that runs down, then the gas will take over. But you don't do anything. You just
Right,
gas and go.
right.
It doesn't alter your lifestyle.
So
at
let's
all,
talk about it, right? So I just got a
Scott just
Ford
got one.
F-150 from Steet Ford like
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
3 weeks
yeah, I was
ago
like,
after we
yep,
met.
Yep.
And I
It
didn't
is
know
wild.
I didn't know anything about hybrid.
Yeah.
I was confused as all. Rich was doing whatever, and he's like, "Well, go get ready. We'll test drive it, right?" And I just kept pushing the button. I didn't realize it was on.
I did it with my husband's car. I did it the other day.
It
I
makes
was like,
no
it's
noise.
not turning on.
Totally confused. And the funny part about, well, not the great part of the bus story is 3 weeks ago I bought it. I still haven't put gas in it.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
awesome.
Yeah,
and,
right?
And I
Like-
have no clue how it works.
Yeah.
But it does.
Yeah, the big question
especially-
was, do I have to plug it in? No.
Right. Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Like,
So
why?
Well, like
you know.
that's also the great part of being in like a smaller area. Is
Sure.
like right, you're
Yeah.
just you
Yeah.
do your work, your
Every
errands,
time I hit the
whatever,
brake,
and
it tells me it's
yeah,
charging it,
yep.
and
Yeah.
it's wild.
Not a big
Yeah,
commute
it's
or
awesome.
anything, yeah.
And you don't lose, some of the older people, you lose power. And if like we tow a jet ski, we were at the lake this weekend.
Perfect.
We launched
Yep.
it like
Yep.
4-wheel drive. Like would
Yep.
never know it's a hybrid.
Yeah.
all the same. So
Yep.
pretty wild. Fully autonomous. We don't have to go there. But I guess the question is hybrid and autonomous. How much of that matters to you guys as the retailer? Like, do you?
Well, ultimately, I mean, everything comes down to the end customer ultimately deciding
Right.
to purchase a vehicle and
Right.
deciding that something is a right fit for them.
Yeah.
So if there's a lot of pushback on one type versus another, then it does matter to us.
Then you have to
so,
change.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
but no, I mean, I think all the manufacturers are wise enough to not overproduce one way or the other and give us enough of a mix that we can offer to people, because there's something for everybody, but it's just finding the right mix and the right
Yes.
balance. And so
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, does it matter to me ultimately whether somebody gets a hybrid or a gas or an No, it doesn't ultimately
Yeah.
matter to me which one they pick, but we'll try to explain like the benefits to each one.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
hey, from there, whatever they feel is the right decision for them and their lifestyle.
All
it's
part
up
of
to
the,
them,
the buying
so.
experience.
Yeah. A lot of time it is just kind of educating the customer on like, well, because a lot of people don't know the difference between hybrid either. They
Sure.
do think you have to plug it in. So yeah, things like that. It's just
Do you have any like memorable customer stories? People like trading things in or coming in
without
or
naming names.
customer or like there's got to be like some crazy stuff that you
oh
see.
yeah. We get
one
some
of those-
cool trade-ins.
Yeah,
We've
we've
gotten
taken
boats,
some
RVs,
funky stuff all the time.
lawnmowers.
Yeah, I
That's our
remember-
used car store slogan. Is we take anything in on trade. So
Yeah.
if you,
Yeah.
we will snow blowers. Like
Brush
some
hog.
cool-
We just took
yeah,
a brush
yeah,
hog.
yeah. I learned what that
Did you say
was. I didn't know.
lawnmower? We use it around here actually.
Yeah, like we
Like,
bought
oh,
it.
that's
So
great.
yeah,
We
this
sold
is-
one. We used the
Yeah.
other one. It works
Yeah.
out. But,
That's funny.
It's kind of one of those things that like you meet so many different people every day, and like you deal with like a lot of there's some wild days that are like,
Yeah.
and then it's like, and then like somebody will remind me of like, remember that one time? Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about that. But it's like,
well, that's the fun part is when you're constantly meeting new people.
Yeah.
Like some people have such a routine job where they go in, they perform their tasks, they talk to the same people in the same office every day.
Yep.
But when you're dealing with the public,
Yeah.
it is. Sometimes it's just so fun and entertaining that you're like, I
Yes.
cannot believe this person exists.
Yep.
No, we see some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
And
I know. We do have like, I mean, we see crazy things. We also have like a lot of really, really, really nice customers. I was just thinking of it today when I was helping the kids make their beds. We had one of my husband's customers. She made our kids quilts for their beds with their names on it and their favorite colors, like as a thank you after she bought her car. And I was like,
that's awesome.
Oh my gosh. And we have brownies in the office right now. And one of my husband's customers got us fireworks last week for the 4th. And
That's awesome.
yeah, like,
See,
so it is. Yeah.
It's the personal stuff like that.
yes,
for sure.
yeah. Yep.
Let's talk about that because there's good and bad with being a local, and I use the term celebrity loosely, right? But
Very
but
loosely.
you are, right? So we're good friends with Steve McMurray, and we can't go anywhere with him because everyone's always pulling him in different directions. And you guys grew up on TV, right? And we're in a big enough market where we're sort of big, but a small enough market where you can kind of dominate that space. And you guys have, where I've seen you, I've seen you, right?
Yeah.
Like I recognize you, and then people want to talk to you, which can be good and bad. So how much of that impacts your work-life balance, or does it?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it really, for me anyways, not a whole lot. I feel like he probably gets recognized more. Like, we'll be out, or like our dad for sure. I remember a lot of times when we were little, or even now, we'd be out to dinner all together, and like someone comes up and like, "Hey, I have this problem in my car," and of course, like, how can you just be like, "Not now,"
business, but I'm going to.
So then, right, yeah. So then all of a sudden, it's like, man, it's like pulling his phone out, and you're like, "Okay, let's look this up," or like, "Let's set your appointment." Which is fine though, because ultimately, like, we do, if you have a problem, we want you to come up to us.
But that's another thing too. That's like a reminder for everybody. Like, hey, make sure you take care of these people because we're out and about. I don't want to hear problems. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like. But I think that is a big
you.
difference though too, where you got some like corporate owners or whatever elsewhere that like
don't care.
Yeah, they're never going to see anybody around here.
Exactly.
No one's going to voice.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a smaller checks and balances system, I guess, just being out and about.
True.
But
it is kind of hard to turn it off because even if there's not like a problem necessarily, people want to like pick your brain, like, oh, what do you think of this new model? And then all of a sudden you're like back in work mode, and it's like, well, and then
yeah.
Sometimes we
It comes
don't
to the
go
turf.
out.
You know what I mean? It's just you kind of just get used to it, I guess, too. It's not like, but I don't. It's not like I dislike
like
talking
bother
about
some-
it too. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's like, I'll talk about it. Anytime, anywhere, I guess, so.
You get stressed over anything? You're like the most laid back,
He
chill
does
dude.
not. I
I'm like,
swear to
there's
God, I
no-
have never once seen him mad.
Like,
And,
does your blood pressure change at
No,
all?
mine does. I got all of it from.
Wait till the new baby comes with a lack of sleep. Then
Yeah,
your
talk to
person
me,
is
October
definitely
19th.
going
I
to
don't know. I've always
change.
been like this, and he's always
Sleep-
been like
sleep
that. So
deprivation.
Lack of sleep will do crazy
he's like,
things to you.
He literally never gets mad. I don't think I've ever seen him mad. Like, I think one time at work, my husband was like, Brian was like, Joe actually got mad at one, like the sales guys. I'm like, what? But yeah, he's even keel. Like, but our grandfather, I feel like, was like that. He was.
I don't know. It's,
Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's his motto. Like,
I put everything into perspective, I guess.
he's very
Well,
good
that's
at
awesome.
that. Yeah.
I try to at least, but
Very
but
wise.
If something sets me off, then it will. I'll say that. So.
Well, it's,
But that's when you know something is serious. Like, it's okay. Like,
I'm not as chill as you, but she's the firecracker and the
I
heavy in the parenting relationship. And when I do lose my stuff every once in a while, the kids are like, "We knew we were in trouble when Dad got mad."
When Dad,
It's probably like in my household. Yes, yeah. Like if my husband's mad, it's like, okay, everyone, calm down.
There's no
Like,
boy who cried wolf.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
Let's talk, and you probably already answered this, but the advice for any small business owner or anyone in a family business or a partnership, like what are some solid pieces of advice you could give?
Stay the course.
Yeah, stay the course.
There's going to be tough
Stay
days.
connected in the community too, because you get to know people and become friends with people. Like they want to do business with you because you're friends with them too. And they see, and so
support other local businesses. We always like growing up, we always tried whatever new local restaurant popped up. Yep. And even even some of the chains, because my parents brought up a good point, like years ago, Christmas shopping. Yeah. Exactly. Like I remember they did, like we got some clothes from Macy's for Christmas, and my parents were like, you know what, the managers and all the employees there are still local. Yep. So if you don't support whatever's here, then it will.
We catch ourselves doing that.
We
quite
catch
a bit.
ourselves doing
we
that.
highlight.
And even franchise owners, like we're good friends with Jimmy Kiola that owns Nothing Bundt Cakes, but he is a local person that owns
and employs local people.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's a great point.
Yep.
We end all of these with rapid fire questions. Some are rapid. Boy. Some
they should be fun and
not,
quick. And
but we try to make these fun and quick, and you guys can kind of each give your own answers. So first, this is a fun one. First car.
Oh.
I hear you're raised in the car industry.
2003 Highlander, Toyota Highlander.
Okay.
It was black, and there was a spoiler on it. It was my favorite car ever. And I actually know who bought it, and I still see it around town sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's probably not many Highlanders with a...
I know. It's like the
I'm
back.
trying to picture that.
It was like on the back, definitely.
Mine was an 07 black Toyota 4Runner.
Yep.
GRD Sport. I loved that vehicle. I'd still be driving that vehicle if the suspension didn't rot out. And but it had an unbelievable suspension in it too. I will say that. It was the X-Ria suspension, and it would send fluid to one side or the other, so you could corner it like it was nothing. So I learned how to drive in that thing. I felt like I could get through anything in that vehicle, and I did too. And but the suspension rotted out, and then it was going to be wildly expensive to fix. And
so now you got
that's my next question. So now the lead-up question is, what are you driving now?
I've upgraded to a 1999 Toyota 4Runner with 220,000 miles.
Stop it. Is that your everyday vehicle?
Yeah. That's
amazing.
You get some shots of it. It's cool. It's got a ladder on the back. It's really
cool.
Yeah, it's I love that thing. It's cool.
And what do you drive now?
I drive a 2016 Toyota Land Cruiser.
Okay.
A level up for the Toyotas. We're here in the Toyota
I do
store.
have a Beetle convertible I drive in the summers.
But don't forget, too, our heart is always here, because this is where we started working.
Exactly.
Too,
I know.
Too,
I can't. They're all great. Yeah, they're all great. But
so the 99 is your everyday vehicle.
Yeah, that's my daily drive.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because you truly love it, or is it just
I love it.
because now you're just this is what I do.
There's a whole 4Runner community.
Yeah, I just finished patching the frame on it too, so it's good to go. So that's the one thing you can't escape living around here is the salt and the rust and all that.
Last time you bought a car was 26 years ago. Thank God everyone's not like you. You guys be out of business.
I went out of my way.
We hold on to our cars, which is very ironic. That we
I went out of my way and bought this in 2017 with 170,000. I put 50,000 miles on it. It was pretty good.
Yep.
All right, this is probably a really tough one because we kind of hit on this too. If you weren't in this business, what would you be doing?
I would definitely, I don't know if I'd say it'd still be downstate in the city, because I was getting kind of tired of it is kind of tiring. Yeah. But I probably would be doing something PR related, definitely some PR department or a little, boutique firm or something. I think that'd be fun.
I guess that's a tough question.
Yeah, I know. I can't picture you. Actually, no, you're good with numbers. You'd be
something numbers related or customer facing or something, or a combination of the two, I guess.
Yeah. Cool. All right, finish this sentence. A successful car dealership is...
I think I think maybe committed to people in general, because that's committed to the employees and committed to the customers too, but I think you could translate that to any business, you're talking about, any small business, make sure you take care of your employees and take care of your customers. Success should follow with that, just because of that, I guess, but I don't know. That's probably the best way that I could put it, I guess.
I like it. I said dedicated, so it's kind of the same thing. Committed, dedicated. I like it.
If you were forced to leave Central New York, what would you miss most?
I would say the Four Seasons. We are big skiers, so I don't mind the winter.
Yeah.
I know.
Don't mind that season being a little bit longer.
Yeah, I've had a great winter, I thought, this year. Snow days, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I love all four of them.
I think the Four Seasons. I think the Adirondacks being right here. Anybody can jump in a car and you're there in less than an hour, basically. Just enjoying nature. You go around to some of these other places and other cities and all that, and it's there's no there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no greenery
animals,
or anything.
or even
Like,
animals. Some
Yeah.
people have never seen deer
Yeah,
or
for sure.
like
Yeah.
wildlife, and it's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
that-
Or everything's really flat too. Like there's no.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Funny. You say
Sometimes
that.
we don't realize how truly beautiful of a place we
You take a
live
lot of
in.
stuff for granted.
Yes, we
you
do.
know,
Yeah,
and,
I know.
until you go around and you see other places that don't. Like I'm just looking at a bunch of trees back there over your head, right? And so it's like, okay, it's
So funny
nice
you
to
say
see.
that.
Well, yeah.
And so, because this past weekend we did a little bit of lake hopping. We spent the day up at Hinckley.
Nice.
Then we went down to Canada. Last week we were up at the Old Forge.
yeah.
Fun.
And I'm like, we are within an hour
Yeah.
of all of these places.
Oh, yeah.
And like driving there is absolutely beautiful too.
Yep. We
you
were
don't
just,
realize that.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
in Indian Lake, and then we did the mine tour. It was really cool. So we did this old garnet mine in North Creek, but like the drive from our camp to North Creek was just really. It's just. I was saying to my husband, I was like, "This is so pretty. You know,
Yeah.
it's just
For sure.
beautiful." Yeah.
We did a corporate retreat Columbus Day weekend last year up in the Adirondacks. We rented this huge place with like
Awesome.
20 bedrooms.
That's
and we had
cool.
people come in from all over the country. And this one woman came in from Chicago. And, here we drove about an hour and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And didn't think anything of it. And she drove from the Albany airport up
Yep.
north. And she got there and she was like, oh my God, like you guys live here year round?
Yes.
This is amazing.
Yes.
And it's moments like that when people come
Yes.
from out of the area, we're like, I guess
know.
it is.
I remember seeing it was just some random like Facebook group of like the Adirondack stuff. And it was, I don't even know what mountain it was, but I was reading the comments and there were a bunch of people that were like, this is on my bucket list to go to. And I'm like, bucket list? Like, we're an hour and a
It's
half and we're
Tuesday.
at our camp. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like,
Or to
but
see
yeah.
leaves change color. Just
Exactly.
that simple
Yes.
thing of like something that we take for granted that we get
I think
every year.
I think a lot of people do. And then, when I read those comments, I literally was like, wow, yeah, we really do take that for granted.
Well, the tagline is it's easy to do business.
Yes.
Right? You changed that. It used to be it's always easy to do business. Now it's
I
just
think it's
easy to
still
do
it's
business.
always easy.
it's always easy.
It's always
Yeah,
easy.
see where, no, it's like see I confuse
See
it.
where our customers
See
say
where our
it's always
customer-
easy to do
that's
business.
where I confuse that one.
Yeah.
Is it see why our customers always say, or see why our customers say it's always easy to do business?
It's supposed to be. It's always
Right?
easy to do business
Yeah.
here. Sometimes
I
when
end
we're
up
doing a
confusing
commercial,
it,
it's like
so-
you're just like
Yeah.
firing it out.
Yeah.
sure you have some
Or
great
you have
outtakes.
like 4 seconds left in the commercial, and it's like a it's easy. Yeah.
What did we miss? What did we say?
Did we get the time right? Okay,
Yeah.
it's good.
We we are Steet Ponte customers now, and we
Yes.
can back that up.
Welcome to
Our
the family.
experience has been great, and it has been very easy to do business. And this
We're glad.
conversation has been very easy as well. 45 minutes flew by. So.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Really.
really well.
Yeah,
I know.
Joe and
It's
Carly
fun.
Steet, thank you so much
Cool.
for all you do to support the people in this area.
Yeah.
And our mission is to highlight awesome people doing awesome things, and you two certainly fit the bill. So.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.